We have an extremely cocky little person here. She's been in the garden all day. I've put her back twice. And she's back in again. She went right under the dog's noses about 10 minutes ago. And they ran and hid. Pathetic, really. But there we are. But she couldn't care less. Just doing her thing, scratching around. But, honestly, she comes into the back door into the kitchen. That's when I have a fit. Poor old Bob's no good today. I've lost all hope for Bob. Can't stand up at all. Can't walk forward. Tries to go backwards and just ends up sitting on his tail feathers and flipping over backwards. Every time he eats, drinks, has a poo, moves. Ridiculous. He's eating reasonably okay. He ate all his egg. He's not too enamoured with the corn I keep trying to make him eat. He's only going to have one egg a day. He hasn't vocalised at all today. Hasn't stretched. Hasn't done anything, just nothing but fit after fit after fit after fit. Every 30 seconds. Providing he doesn't move. If he doesn't move, it might go 2-3 minutes. If he moves, or if I move him or feed him or give him something to drink, every 30 seconds. Absolutely ridiculous. I shall phone. I've got 3 numbers for vets in the UK, so I'll give them all a ring tomorrow. You know, chicken. Well, they're not necessarily chicken vets, but it's from the chicken vet site. Recommended vets that have done the course on chickens. But whether they'll know what this might be or not, who knows. But, yeah. I thought I had another turkey earlier that was going down with some dreadful thing, but she seems to be better now. I researched reproductive problems in poultry because I'm not very au fait with the female reproductive organs, because I don't kill females, so I don't get to gut them and to see what's what and to see how everything goes. Here we go again. He's going to come flying down the bloody path now. Oh, God. Oh, Bob, what the hell are we going to do with you? Oh, I'll just leave you there. They're so strong, his convulsions now. I've got no muscle left in my arm trying to hold him. Got no legs left, got bruises everywhere, he kicks. Pretty awful. Yes, so not very, yeah, that was the one that... No, it wasn't Lopalong or Scarface, it was the other one. I think it's her over there, who wasn't looking terribly clever this morning. Whether she's just wanted to lay or not, I don't know. But 2 of this lot are laying, the other one isn't. Anyway, yeah, so I'm not very well up on the reproductive system of female hens, turkeys, guineas, because I say I don't kill them, so I don't cut them, so I don't look where it was the males. I'm very au fait with where all their bits and pieces are. I know exactly what joins to what and what's where and how it should look, etc, etc, but not the females. So I just did a bit of research on how everything is female wise. I mean, I knew where their ovums were, so that was that. The only time I've ever looked at females inside is when I've post-mortemed either the female turkeys or the hens or female guineas, but generally if they've got other things going on, I'm not sort of too whatnot about their egg-laying bits, except for the one that died of egg peritonitis, but her insides were such a mess you couldn't see what was what. It was just a whole mangled, stinking, rancid, yolk-ridden mess. But on doing the research of the tubes and what does what and where it is and what not, those 3 big bulbous lumps on little girl that were full of yolk and had the white outside. That I can only assume, looking at the diagrams, everything was the bits where you have the ovum, which is the yolk, then it goes down the tube and it gets the amniotic fluid, or the white of the egg encased in it, and then is it a sort of an outer shell and then another shell? I can't quite remember, but those three bits, I think, are where it gets the white and the shell. Oh my God, Bob, what the hell are you doing? Yeah, so he tried to stood up and went flat over backwards. Oh dear, well, we're going to put you in a minute. That's it, now go head diving straight into the wall. He doesn't know what he's doing. His comb's completely flopped over again. I researched that as well. And the oil gland, and the oil gland is just, if they get problems of tumours or blockages, it's nothing to do with their health otherwise, other than the D3 that they get from their feathers, from the D2, vitamin D2, and then the ultraviolet light from the sun turns it into vitamin D3, which they then absorb through their mouths when they through their beaks when they re-prune again next time. But the comb is dehydration or illness or injury. Well, admittedly, he has got bruising there, but then I say it has stood up before. Now it's flopped again, and it stands up and it flops, and it stands up and it flops. So, and he's still very hot. Either side of his face, burning, absolutely burning, and in between, yes, in between his wattles, absolutely red hot. It actually hurts. It's that hot. It burns. So something to do with circulation. Perhaps that's the problem. He's got a problem with the circulation, and it's any movement or something makes the needs to have the blood pumped around quicker to achieve whatever it was he needs to do, and it can't do it, so we fit. So something I'm never going to cure, obviously, if that's the case. We'll see what the vet might say tomorrow, whichever one does. She's feeling rampant. And perhaps that was her problem. She wanted to lay, but she was rampant as well. Yes, anyway. So, those three bits, I think, is where the whites join to the yolk, and then the shell and the shell hardening bit, or it hardens as it goes down. And the two lumps of yolk, last year, as I say, she's never actually laid an egg. She's never laid an egg. But last year, every time I cleaned them out in the morning, every morning, there would be poo covered in yolk, or just bits of yolk on the floor. Not a whole yolk, it's just someone had broken an egg and sort of half yolk. So I think what happened is the first lump, the first growth, swelling, hardened yolk that was sort of encased like in a tumour type membrane, that obviously escaped her body last year, so it was an ectopic yolk. And that's obviously when she became poorly, but because I got straight onto it and was giving her antibiotics, I stopped peritonitis. And then cat's claw and yoghurt and what have you for about 2 weeks. I think her body responded by encasing it in a membrane, sort of like an outer scab, if you like. So it didn't actually kill her, obviously. But then, of course, it was pressing on the tube, because everything was attached, so I couldn't sort of separate anything to start with. It was all sort of like a very rigid, hard, stringy fibres connecting that first lump to her body, the inner body skeleton, as well as bits of intestine and the rest of her, equipment in there. It was almost as if it had been stitched to everything, and of course it was pressing right down on the tube. So because we had a weird summer last year, it didn't think but rain, and it was cold a lot of the time. I think we had 3 days when it was really summery, so perhaps that's what saved her, and it didn't get nice again until around about November. And then she got sick again. And I think that was when she lost the second yolk within her body cavity, because it wasn't as dark as the first yolk. The second lump, the second tumour type looking thing. And that somehow managed to migrate up to, say, round a duodenum, which is most peculiar. And there it got covered like in a scab type membrane and adhered to the membrane round her duodenum. And again, it was sort of attached to her air sac and her inner membranes and duodenum, and the membrane around the duodenum. Absolutely bloody awful. This horrible stringy type stitches that were connecting it all there, but at least it was encased in that horrible tumour-like scab. But you know, that was blocking all the tubes off again from her duodenum into her small intestines. And obviously that became a little bit rancid, but still wasn't enough to kill her. But of course the other bits and pieces. Oh, she's lying down now. So, take me, Morris, take me. Morris is saying, well, I wish I could, but the fence is in the way, so sorry, old girl, but no can do. Is that a hen still in the garden? Yeah, there she is, little bitch. Look at her. Just look at it. Honestly. Right, Bob, I'm going to leave you for a minute. I'm going to get your bed ready and bring you in, my dear. Yeah. And, of course, as she tried to maybe lay this year, because we had a very early spring, sort of around the middle of February, that's when she got crook again, and she kept going bad and recovering, going bad and recovering. So obviously the eggs were, the ovum, the yolk was coming down the tube, getting so far, hitting that blockage where the tumour was pushing against the last part of her egg-laying tube. Don't know what it's called, I can't remember what it was called. Literally only an inch to the outside world, but that was clamped right down on it and attached to her, you know, in a body, in a skeleton, by this, I say, almost like fibrous stitches, and it couldn't go any further, because I say the white around it was the shell, around the whole of that swelling with what, 5 or 6 yolks in it. That was the shell encasing it, so it just kept on backing up there, and then the one before that was, I don't know, the first shell or whatever that goes on, maybe the outer membrane before the shell, and again that was sort of slightly grey-white, but a load of yolks backed up in there. And then the first one, the slightly smaller swelling, that didn't have hardly any white in it at all. It was just 4 or 5 yolks just all crammed on top of each other, sort of side by side, all crammed in. And then after that, you know, nothing, just an empty tube, then straight to the ovum. So, as I say, because we had a very early spring this year, the poor little devil obviously tried to lay, because she was always in the nest box. Whenever she was feeling sorry for herself, and even though she wasn't appearing unwell, when she was feeling just a bit down, a bit depressed, she would straight in the shed, straight in the nest, and then come out and sidle up to old Morris or whatever. But you know, she was always looking as if she wanted to lay, but there was never any eggs, and she couldn't lay. And then of course after a while the swelling's got so much it just backed everything up, and I say her whole system shut down. So I was working out today, I've lost 6, 7, 8 turkeys in 3 years. 4 through a predator and 4 through disease. 1 with blackhead, 1 with aspergillosis, and 2 with, well, Maud with this growth, and her daughter with egg-laying equipment problems, turning into sort of terror tumours. Awful. And then we have poor old Bob that I think he's a lost cause. You lost cause, Bob? Right, I'm going to bring you in now. Look at that bloody little hen. Hello, Sparrow. What are you doing? Have you pulled the polythene out the hole in my roof? If you have, I'll gas a lot of you. There you are. Can you even see where you're going with that great bobby knot? Eh? On top of your head? Oh no, my blockage is still blocked. 4 months. Can't get a roofer out to stick 2 tiles in, and I can't reach it. Can't reach it from a ladder because it's too... It overhangs too much. And I just can't get the position. You know, you end up coming backwards. And I can't get it from out the window. It's just 1 tile too far over, which is absolutely bloody typical. The wall's absolutely ruined. The bridge plate's probably ruined. And one roofer wanted to charge me €1,800 just to change 2 bloody tiles and to replace about 6 more that the wind lifted. Oh, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Oh, has she gone back? How did she get back? I didn't miss that. Bugger, I missed it. Where's she gone? Are you gone back, you little sod? Oh, there she is, in there. Oh, she goes through there. Okay. Right, we'll put her back then. Do our usual. Come out the way, Mooney. Oh, you're back under the solar panel, are you? Okay. Come then, you little bitch. Yeah. You little horror. Yeah, you're the one that can't see. I need to trim your top knot. Yeah, that's why I just go marching back in there as if you're on the bloody place. You waiting for me to open the gate for you. What are you doing, Friar? Well, I don't think her egg's fertile, which is a real pain. So, little guinea and tin hut's over there, still laying. So that'll be the 3rd egg tonight. Are you alright, dear? Which one's that? Is that Scarface? I don't know if that's Lop Along or the other one. Yeah, 8 turkeys in 3 years. Bloody awful. Yeah, I'm getting him in, Moon. You don't need to look so concerned. Yeah, alright, Bob. We'll get you in, mate. For your supper. Yeah. And poor Bob's not doing very well at all. I haven't done anything for the last couple of days because I've been so disheartened by it all. Just goes for the stone backwards, does backward somersaults, although he's a bit stronger today. Kept up with the vitamin E, and I'm also now giving him vitamin D3 because he's not preening, so he's not getting any vitamin D. So I suppose he's a bit better today than what he was yesterday, but it's pouring rain outside, so he's had to stay in the kitchen, and he's had, I don't know, a fit about every 20 minutes or so, but his comb's all wimped again, and no, he's not doing very well at all, so I don't know, I'll give him another couple of days, and if there's no improvement, then I think it's going to have to be decision time. So, and he hasn't vocalised for a couple of days either. He had a bit of a natter to me today for a few seconds, but he doesn't seem to be able to see very well either now. But then all the thrashing around he does, and they're so violent that the convulsions now, they've never seen anything like it. And just now I got hold of him, and as I held him, he was fine, and then all of a sudden he hurled himself into space, and I sort of caught him in mid-air. I've never seen anything like it in my life. And he's got me twice with his spurs, which really hurt. Got me in the side of the leg. So, yeah. At the moment, it's looking extremely desperate.